Hey, it's James here from eBassGuitar and welcome to the Walking Bass series. In today's bass guitar lesson, I want to take you through the 3 core methods you need to create fantastic walking bass lines. If that sounds good, please check this lesson out all the way to the end. Hey guys, it's James here from eBassGuitar and welcome to the Walking Bass series. Over the next 3 lessons, we're going to dig deep into walking bass. And why is that? If a student comes to me and asks me, what's the most powerful thing I can do to learn the bass? My answer will always be learn walking bass. Why? Because harmonically, you're going to learn what works over every single chord, and you're going to have an amazing set of knowledge just to unlock which notes fit over what. Secondly, you're going to learn the instrument inside out. You're going to learn the neck and understand what all of the possibilities are. It also gives you extraordinary confidence to move around the neck, change positions, and explore lots of incredible shapes on the fingerboard. So this really is, in my opinion, the most powerful style of bass or concept that you can learn. So that is why I'm really passionate. And today I want to give you an introduction to the 3 core concepts that you can use to learn walking bass. So before we dig into the lesson content, I just want you to know that there is a completely free PDF workbook which comes with this lesson. All you need to do is click the link in the description below this video and you can grab your copy. It will give loads of extra context to this lesson which will be really super valuable. So the 3 methods I'm going to take you through to create walking bass lines today are the scalic method, the chord tone method, and the chromatic method. And to do that, we are going to use a 2-5-1 chord sequence in the key of F. If you're not 100% familiar with what that means, all that means is we are using a G-7 chord for a bar, we're using a C7 chord for a bar, and then we're going to have 2 bars of F7. So this will sound a little bit like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So between these 3 methods, the scalic, the chord tone, and the chromatic method, you really do have the vast majority of how to create walking bass lines covered. I'm really super passionate about breaking it down into these 3 concepts because I think it's really powerful to opening up the whole of the fingerboard. So let's talk about the scalic method to begin with. First of all, let's hear what this sounds like in context.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So guys, that's what the scalic method sounds like. So the reason why the scalic method is so powerful is it naturally leads our ear from chord to chord to create these really strong bass lines. So if we start on a G minor like so, or a G at the 3rd fret, we have 4 beats to hit the C chord. Now the issue we have here is if we just go straight up a G minor scale, we end up hitting the C a beat early on beat 4, and that doesn't create a very strong bass line. So what I want to do is show you a really common trick now, a little technique that I call the whole half method. And this is a brilliant way of linking chords together in the 2-5-1 context. And the 2-5-1 is used so much in the world of jazz standards, even into pop music, etc. It is a super common chord sequence. So I guarantee you'll be using this line again and again. So let's talk through it. We're going to start on the G, and then we're going to go up a whole step, and that is going to land us on the A like that. And then we're going to go up a half step, and then another half step, and that is going to land us on the C on beat 1 of the next bar. Don't forget, this is all written out in the PDF which comes with the lesson, and it gives you this sound. And we can use that sound again, that same concept of whole, half, half, to get to the next chord. Like that. And the reason this is such a strong sounding bass line is firstly, the chromatics which are in there, which are the half steps, make it sound jazzy. They have that particular sound to them. But also, we use both the major third and the minor third in the line. And this kind of has the effect of actually cancelling each other out. And so you can use this over major chords and you can use this over minor chords and it will sound really, really strong. So going up. Now coming back down, the simplest thing to do is just come straight back down an F7 or an F Mixolydian scale. So, and that has the perfect amount of notes to work really well. But we could also use this whole, half, half technique again to come back down, and it will work really nicely over the 2-5-1. So we could do whole to half, and that will land us on the C, on the beat 1 of the next bar, and then we could do whole, half, half, and that will land us back on the G again. So this is a really powerful thing to create some really, really strong walking bass lines, and you can use this going off into blues music, into funk music, etc, etc. So let's listen to what this concept sounds like with the backing track.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So let's move on to part 2 of the lesson, where we're going to talk about the chord tone method. First of all, let's have a listen to it because it's important to internalize the sound of it, then we can talk about how it's constructed.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So chord tones are the root, the third, the fifth, and the seventh of each individual chord. So in the context of here, we have the G minor, 7, which is going to be G, B flat, D, and F. The C, which is going to be C, E, G, and B flat. And the F, which is going to be F, A, C, and E flat for the F7 chord, like this. And what we are doing is we are perfectly spelling out the chord. This is why they sound so strong. So if we were to play the chord up at the top here, like that, or what the piano player or the guitarist is playing, we are putting all those really strong notes into our bass lines. Think of these as the foundation of the house, the foundation, the walls, and the roof, and we've completed everything. This gives us a very, very different sound to the scalic idea, which is essentially leading the ear from chord to chord. Here we are spelling out each chord. This is why it sounds so strong. Now, the thing here, which I'm going to demonstrate in a second, is that we can just go up and down the arpeggios, which is the same as the chord tones, like this. And that will create a really good strong bass line. But what we can start to do is mix them up. So what I'm going to do here is give you an example. So G to C, like that. And so we can start creating all these really interesting chord tones by, or bass lines effectively by just rearranging the order that the chord tones are in. So let me demonstrate with the backing track so you can hear what this sounds like.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So don't forget, there is a free PDF which comes with this lesson. Just click the link in the description below to grab your copy. But if you're really enjoying these ideas, I urge you to take a look at the Essential Walking Bass course over at eBassGuitar.com. This is where I take all of these concepts apart right from the ground upwards and show you how to build walking bass lines right from your very first note and teach you how these concepts like chromatics, scales, chord tones work, but also the most important fundamental chord sequences that you need to know to go and play at a jazz jam session. So make sure you check out the Essential Walking Bass course over in the Bass Lab Plus membership, which is at eBassGuitar.com. So let's talk about the third method now, and that is the chromatic method, or another name that you might hear for it is the chromatic approach method. The reason why this sounds so good is that you really don't need to know too much music theory, and also chromatics or chromatic approaches really do give you that sort of quintessential jazz sound as well. So if you're looking to create that in your bass lines, this is a really great technique to learn. So let's hear what it sounds like first of all.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The chromatic method, or the chromatic approach method, is all about approaching our target chord. So let me give you an example. We're going from the G minor to the C, from either a half step above or a half step below. So if our target note is a C, on beat 4, we would hit either a C sharp, that would be the approach, or the upper approach, or the lower approach, which would be the B like that. So let me give you the most simplistic way we could make this work, and that is to play 3 root notes, and then on beat 4 we have an upper approach note, and then 3 approach notes, and then 3 roots and we can do the same for the F. But the thing is, it gets much more interesting if we start putting the 5th of the chord into the mix. So say we are playing the root on the 3rd beat, and then we go to the 5th on beat 3 like that. So we're going to go bum, bum, and like this. We can actually use approach notes to both the root and the 5th of each particular chord. This is where the technique gets very interesting. So let me demonstrate the sound. So So there are so many variations we can do using this chromatic approach note idea, and this is really what the great James Jamerson brought into the Motown sound, or one of the ideas that he brought forward to take the world of walking bass into the bass guitar in the 60s. So this is really such a powerful concept to know about. Don't forget, this is all written out in the PDF which comes with this lesson, so make sure you download that from the description below. What I'm going to do now to finish off this lesson is I'm going to combine all three of these techniques together, and what you'll start to get a sense of is that I'm just totally improvising, and really I'm playing based on three core frameworks and mixing them up and finding the really strong ideas from each of the three core methods to put into the 2-5-1 bass line. But the last thought I want to leave you with is, if you learn these three methods really well, this is the secret to creating great walking bass lines.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So guys, that is the end of today's walking bass lesson. That is part 1 of the walking bass series, where I've shown you the three core concepts you need to create fantastic walking bass lines. Don't forget, there is the completely free PDF that comes with this lesson. Please just click the link in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the Essential Walking Bass Guitar over at eBassGuitar.com and the Bass Lab Plus. Lastly, if you've enjoyed this lesson, please do give it a like and share on social. Cheers, I've been James from eBassGuitar.com, and I will catch you next time. Cheers for now.